I kind of already knew, like there was just something in the back of my head that was going, something's not right here. And I just knew that it had something to do with John. You need to call him and you need to find out what's going on because I think something's happened. In the office by myself, going, what is going on? Like my entire world just kind of like fell apart around me. And I kept asking him to tell me that it wasn't happening. And he was like, I really wish I could say that to you, but I can't. I met John late 2010, I think it was the end of October. It's actually the day before my 23rd birthday. We met at a gig at the Corner Hotel in Richmond. He was actually only 20 at the time, but he knew that I kind of wouldn't really give him the time of day if he told me that. So he told me that he was 22. He also told me that he was an architect when he found out that I was a musician, because again, he knew if he told me that he was a football player, I wouldn't give him the time of day.
She called me one evening and was like, oh my God, I met a guy, he's so cute, all those things. And then she let me know that he was a Collingwood player. And being a Collingwood supporter, I was so pumped, so excited.
She was very happy. They were very much in love, and I think that made all of us really happy.
He was just a beautiful person. And he brought out the best possible side in her. But she did sort of mention before the season was out that there was a possibility that John would move and that he was getting traded. And she had said that she was prepared to move to wherever he was.
He came over and he said to me, I think we're going to move to Adelaide. And I said, well, you can tell my parents.
Getting away was a good thing, I think, for them both, because they could focus on their relationship. And I know for Danielle, this was a first for her. She hadn't moved out with anyone before.
I loved Adelaide. Like, I really loved it. It was daunting at first because you kind of go over there and you don't know anyone. I was really lucky though, the girls that were over there were just some of the best girls I've ever met.
She was a wag and all the other wags were there. It was all good.
In terms of, you know, the welcome that we got at Port, it was just a massive family. It just felt like a big extended family. He had this whole thing as soon as we moved that he really, really wanted to get a dog and all of this. So I kind of just went along with it at first and thought, oh yeah, cool, whatever. I didn't really know anything about having a dog.
He's, of course, he's a little shit of a dog. And he, yeah, he's a little shit. But gorgeous little guy.
I joke about Jax being like my little baby because, you know, and I always said when we first got him, I kept saying to John, don't let me become this person who refers to my dog as my child. Having Jax, I think, just gave us something really, really positive to focus on. And it kind of made us feel like a bit of a family, I think, as well.
The football world is in mourning following the death of AFL star
John McCarthy, a former Collingwood player. It's understood that he fell from a balcony.
John McCarthy made a confused and distressed phone call to his girlfriend in Australia in the hours before his death in Las Vegas.
He was on an end-of-season trip with 10 of his teammates, but at the time of his death, he was not with any of the other players.
I had just submitted an assignment and I got this call from my dad. And he had said that John had fallen.
My instinct was to call Dan, which I did. And I didn't believe it. And we sort of hung up and then I had to call her back.
She said to me, oh, John's been in an accident and he's dead. And it was kind of at that point where she said to me, he's been in an accident, that I was expecting the next words to come out of her mouth were going to be, he's in the hospital, but he's okay. And that's not what she said to me. I just looked at her and I was like, I think I'm gonna be sick. I was like, I think I'm gonna be sick. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she took me into the bathroom and I just remember just like falling in a heap and just screaming. And she just like held me and she just kept saying to me, you're gonna be all right. Like, you're gonna be okay. I kept saying to her, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. And she said to me, she goes, life doesn't deal you cards that you can't deal with. And I don't know, I kind of just, like, I remember her saying that to me now, and every single time, like to this day, like every time I go through anything, I just go, no, you know what, like, this is for a reason.
Well, in the last year, she's come better, obviously. She's become a more independent person.
I think she's a lot more resilient than she was before. Any person will be when they go through something like that.
As I said, I don't know the pain. I can be there for her. I can listen, but I don't understand. She's very strong, really strong. The part that sort of killed me the most was I saw this newfound strength in her, and that's what he gave to her.
Life is for the living, and you have to move forward and you have to keep doing all the things that you would have done anyway. And it just kind of becomes a new kind of normal.